What's up, everyone? I'm Damian, and this is Ebuyer Live. This is the place where we bring you the latest tips, tricks, deals, and updates. And today is no different. As the title suggests, we are talking about Black Friday. Yes, Black Friday is approaching fast, but here at eBuy, we have a ton of content for you to get involved with and take part in. Today, I'm super excited because we are talking about gaming PCs. So if you know anyone who is looking for a gaming PC, or if you're looking for a component for your current rig, then this is the stream for you. But I can't do it on my own. No, I need our special guest. So David Thompson, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm back. I'm good.
You
I was
are
up
back.
at 4
And
o'clock this
look
morning.
at your studio.
There you go.
Look
it's looking pretty good in here today. I'm up at 4 in the morning. I've 100% caffeine fueled at the moment, but I'm looking forward to running over some PCs with you today.
Brilliant. Oh, we're going to get into where you actually are at the moment in just a moment. But some people may have watched us last week when we were going through some fantastic Black Friday deals. But there'll be other people who have no idea who you are. So just very shortly, who are you and where you come from? I feel like I was still a black then, but who are you? Where do you come from?
Number 1, 2, or 3. I'm David Thompson. I work over at eBuy. I'm the social media manager, and I would describe it the same way that I did last week. I'm more of a social media butterfly, a bit of marketing, bit of influencer stuff, all over the place. We're good, man.
Brilliant. Well, we're talking about gaming today. I know you're a gamer. We've had a discussion about this. I'm not going to pretend that I don't know that you're a gamer. So
I know we've been chatting in our rehearsals.
Play like League of Legends and Counter-Strike and other games like that. But I want to just take it back a little bit and just sort of see how far back your gaming goes. So without even thinking about it, what was the game that you lost too many hours playing back in the 90s?
Oh, if we're going to talk about how many hours lost, that's easy. That's Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1. That's some serious man hours, and that was even with data action replay cheats and infinite material and all that as well. I remember, but I would say
there's multiple discs with that one, isn't there?
4 discs. Yeah,
4
you're
discs.
right. And do you know what? That was when they were black on the back. Do you remember?
Yes.
I think that was the best marketing idea ever. Fantastic. But yeah, I think it all started with the old DOS days, the old Doom, the Wolfenstein on the old 386 that my dad bought.
Yeah, I remember those days. I used to have a PC that had a button on it that said turbo, and I'm pretty sure it didn't do anything. Just a little red LED light came on.
It made that fan go from 500 RPM to 600 RPM. It's a bit like a turbo, isn't it, on your Skoda?
Yeah. Guys in chat, if you want to take part in what we're talking about today, then just put a comment below. And also, if you've got any questions for us about some of the stuff that we're going through, some of the deals that we're going to be talking about, then don't be afraid to drop a comment below. That also goes out to you who are watching on demand. So we'll obviously take part and review these streams after they've been live, because we are live right at the moment, and we can't do that. Right, so you are you've got Alpha Sync behind you. So where are you?
So I'm at eBuy today. I'm at the showroom downstairs, the Alpha Sync showroom. We've got obviously our PCs we're going to talk about today, but behind me, if you can see as well, we've got obviously all our PCs set up as well, just behind me as well, which is where this is our gaming room and streaming room. So
how many
where we have people come down.
Are there in there at the moment?
Well, there's 5 behind me and 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 behind me, and there's 3 right next to me. So it's pretty warm down here. I tell you that, it's pretty warm. But this is the showroom, and it's where we have our guests come down, our streamers come down, and it's good.
No, it's lovely. It's very, very nice. David Mosley in chat has educated me. It said turbo slowed down the machine for games that ran too fast,
which makes sense from it. Yeah. So some of the issues talking about that. I do quite a bit of emulation stuff, so you do have to slow stuff down sometimes.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the game runs at like 100% and like fast, 100 times speed.
Yeah. Excellent. So what we're going to do, we're going to be talking about, as it suggests right behind you, AlphaSync machines and also gaming in general with Ebuyer. So before we do that, what we're going to do, I'm just going to quickly explain what's happening, because you might be watching this going, what on earth's going on? So for the next 30 minutes or so, David and I are going to be talking about gaming, AlphaSync, and Black Friday deals in general. So if you're watching live or on demand, we'd love to hear from you. Get yourself involved, and also sharing is caring. So if you know anybody out there right now who is looking for an upgrade to their current rig, or is looking for a new rig, then share this stream out to them. So now I reckon what we should do is jump into the stream, and we'll kick it off with a little AlphaSync video. So roll VT. Lovely.
There we go. Yeah.
So welcome to the part of the show where we take a deep dive into the latest products to join the website for all you gamers out there. David, where on earth do you want to start?
I think we will go this way. And there's a special one here, but conveniently enough, it's actually cut off, which is quite nice, actually, because we'll come up to a nice pan shot for that one, and you'll probably see why. So we'll go from the right to the left, and we'll start with the one with the that comes out at the cheapest price, which is quite nice, actually. So this
is one with the red RGB.
So this is red. What I will do, I was playing with this just before when I was setting it all up this morning. I was having a bit of a play with. Oh,
very nice.
There we go. So we've got obviously the RGB on the fans, whichever setting suits your taste. What RGB man are you? Are you a static?
Purple. Static. I don't like all this breathing and.
Are you a rainbow man?
No, purple.
There we go. You're gonna get blue for the moment. So this first one right behind me. So we'll talk about the price first. This first one came in at £1,099.98. And obviously in our Black Friday sale throughout the entirety of the month, we've dropped it down £139.99. So this one is coming in at £959.99. Now, what I want to get in there before, I want to set on all of these PCs, but one of the really important things to bear in mind is they're ready to go now. Okay. So they're on next day delivery. Yeah. So you can have it with you by tomorrow on the doorstep. You've obviously got the 3-year warranty inside of that as well. So all these PCs are going to have this. Yeah. They're all have the option of obviously, next day delivery. They've got their 12-month finance at 0% as well, which is really nice. And you've also got the 3-year warranty. So there's loads of cool things about these. So that first one, that one is an AMD system.
Okay.
So that's an AMD Ryzen 5 3600, which is a 6-core, 12-thread CPU. You've got the 16 gig of Corsair Vengeance RAM on that, which is running at 3200 megahertz.
Is that a single or dual channel?
So that one is dual channel RAM. Yeah, actually all of our PCs today are dual channel RAM, which is nice. So what does that really mean? Running in dual channel, it means you're going to get that extra performance. Yeah, if you run single channel, you're kind of, if you were to run not 16 gig as 2 sticks, but as a single, you'd be potentially leaving 10 to 30%. It depends on the game, of course, but 10 to 30% extra performance on the table for absolutely no reason at all. So splitting it out into dual is definitely the way forward. So you got the 2x8 on that. You've got the Seagate Firecuda 510 500 gig hard drive, which is an NVMe M.2 SSD. So that's obviously extremely fast. And you've got the 1 terabyte standard HDD as well. The main party piece about this apart from the the Ryzen 5 3600, is the RTX 3060, and we were in a chat about those, weren't we, yesterday?
We were indeed, yeah.
yeah. No, the RTX 3060 is obviously part of the new 30 series NVIDIA graphics cards.
Yeah,
it's they're hard to get hold of at the moment. We're lucky we've got some. We're really happy. Performance wise, that is what takes this PC into the sort of the realm that we were discussing before, which is what type of gaming PC is that? Well, that's a 1080p gaming PC, but to be really honest with you, it's also a 1440p gaming PC as well. Yeah, depending upon what game you're going to play, depending upon if it's AAA, if it's an old-fashioned game or whatever it is, the day, that's going to give you the performance that you need to cover. Basically, well, you could play anything on that, whether you're going to be 1080p or 1440p. You're just going to have to adjust, obviously, the resolution, but the graphics of the game. Fantastic. As well.
Just quickly, David. Sorry, guys. There is a link to the store in the comments below for you as well for that particular PC. Quick question for you. You said there's two versions of a hard drive. You've got the M.2 SSD, and then you've got just a typical SSD. Is that
a mechanical hard drive? Yeah,
mechanical hard.
So that'll be the 1 terabyte.
Why would you need two types of hard drives in a PC like that?
So one of the main things about using an NVMe SSD M.2 is obviously the speed. So how does that translate? Well, we'll put it into a real life scenario. Yeah. So if you're running the mechanical as your main drive, the 1 terabyte, let's say, obviously the boot time is what's affected. The loading times is what affected. So if you want to boot up, we used to make jokes in the old days. It's obviously not as bad with this, but in the old days, they used to, turn your PC on, go make a cup of tea and come back.
Yeah.
And it would be not even anywhere near done. Whereas with this sort of stuff, by the time I push that button with an NVMe, it will boot up to the BIOS, it will boot up to the splash screen, and then you're in. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Enough time to readjust your chair, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the 1 terabyte, I think of it as more of a dump drive myself personally. So I would put on there all my photos, my videos, my things like that, my MP3s. But mainly, you obviously could use that for your games as well. So game load times is.
I need to ask you a question there. Who has MP3s these days?
Hey, do you know what? Do you know what? Right? I'll be honest. When that word came out of my mouth, I thought, why are you saying MP3s? Because no one uses MP3s. I used to have so many MP3s because you used to rip your CDs off, didn't you, onto your hard drive? Now, Spotify.
I didn't do that.
Oh no, you could burn them on, couldn't you? Because as long as you were the owner, it was fine, wasn't it? That was absolutely fine. But MP3s don't have much of that anymore. It's all streaming services today, isn't it?
Robert Higginson in chat has asked if we're featuring any gaming laptops today. Well, we're not today, but if you want to see laptops, maybe you might want to tune in next week. That's all I'll say right now. Right, so headlines for this PC. The price.
So the price is the main one. So £959.99. So a 1440p, 1080p, 1440p gaming PC for pretty much £960, under £1,000. So it's pretty good.
That's fantastic. We've had a question come in. I'm gonna try and pronounce it properly. I'm very sorry if I don't. Sagitas, I think they said their name was. They've asked, is there an option to upgrade the SSD? I had a discussion about this yesterday. These are pre-built, aren't they?
So these are pre-built, so there's no customization to these. If they did want to do customization, they could go over to alphasync.com, which is where we've got our configurator. You've got obviously customization of CPUs, RAM, storage, cases, motherboards, graphics cards, everything under the sun. You can build on those. But these are the pre-builds that are obviously being sold exclusively at eBuyer. So they are as they are, but obviously you can upgrade them yourself.
Fantastic.
There is the space to do that. So to finish off then, really, 650 watt power supply, MSI B450 motherboard, which is really compatible with the latest 5000 series chips as well. So you can even upgrade that later on. And then you've got the Cooler Master Hypermaster 212 RGB fan as well. So lots of good bits in there, really.
Yeah. Who would you say this PC is for?
Do you know what? I'll be honest. Times have changed. I want to say a gamer, but it's not. It's that for £960 is for a gamer. That's for a streamer. That's for a content creator. It's for all three. So you can game and stream at the same time with something like that. I could quite happily commit to saying that, with the power of the components that are in it anyway. Easy.
And you have the quality of components there as well to be able to upgrade in the future if you choose to, if that's what the way you want to go. It's fantastic. What you can get for £1,000 now for a gaming PC is insane.
Exactly.
I tell you what, I would like to know. I'd like to know, some of you guys in chat, what are you currently running? Are you running an old rig and you're watching this thinking, oh, maybe I should be upgrading? What processors and GPUs are you currently running? And have you got 8 gigs of RAM, 16 or more? Please let us know. And I throw that question back to you, David. What are you running in your own personal?
What am I running? Oh, it's embarrassing what I'm running. I'm a Intel i5 8600K, so I'm 6 cores, not even hyper-threaded, and I'm dare I say, a 980 Ti. So I am not 10th. I'm quite far behind.
4 generations?
10, 20, 30. Yeah, I am quite far behind with regards to that. And do you know what's even worse is I'm playing 1440 as well. So for me, I'll be honest with you, with my 8600K and 980 Ti, when I load in on that plane, what was the plane, on Warzone, at 1440p, I get a solid 20 frames per second, even 18.
I bet you can hear it for at least a minute before you can actually see anything.
It's not running. I mean, I play a lot of Overwatch and sort of games that league sort of games, so I'm lucky. But when I try to play the more modern titles, it doesn't end very well. Lots of screen tearing, fantastic fun. Did you want to run over the next one, buddy?
Yeah, I was going to say, just before we do that, we'll go on to the next PC, and we'll go through some of the stats there as well. So, but if you're just tuning in right now, you're probably wondering what's going on. David from Ebuyer and I are going through some AlphaSync builds and talking about Black Friday deals. So if you're looking for a new gaming PC, or we're actually going to be showing a few components later. If you're looking for some new components, this is the stream for you. Right. Let's jump on to the second PC.
So second PC, I'll tell you what, I will very quickly move behind me for continuity reasons because the light has gone off just behind me. So if I move, hopefully
this is a TikTok moment, surely.
This is live tech support moment. This is.
That's going in my micro content afterwards. You know that.
And you're back. There we go. Fantastic. It's because what I'm thinking in my head is those poor guys in editing later for their continuity. It's going to make their life a lot easier.
You mean me?
You'll thank me later for it. So the second one, then we'll jump over that one really quickly. Again, same case, same RGB. Obviously, you can have a little cycle through all that, so it's going to have all the same things. But there is price-wise. So this one in the middle was £1,249.99. Is now £1,049.99. So you got £200, £199.99 off of this rig. Now, what's really important is obviously what's inside of it. So what's nice and easy, they're very, very similar. Okay. But the price difference is just on two really important components. So you've got, instead of the 3600 Ryzen 5 in this one, you've got the 3700X. Yeah. So the 3700X isn't a 6-core 12 thread, it's an 8-core 16 thread. So what that means, more power. It means it's like Jimmy Clarkson, then more power. That's the worst way to describe it. Obviously, you've got a higher clock speed, so it does have more gigahertz, more power in the sense of frame rates. It's going to pump out more frames, but in the sense of multitasking is where it's really going to pull ahead. So if you want to stream and obviously game, the more cores, the more threads you have, the easier that task obviously becomes for your PC. The other main component difference is the Asus Prime, not a B450, which is in this one, but a B550 motherboard in this one. So again, more modern motherboard. Obviously, it's going to have the same support as the other one as well. It's going to get you up to that 5000 series should you wish to upgrade later down the line.
Fantastic. The link for this particular product is in chat now as well for you guys too. We've had a couple more comments in. Sakisa's back on again saying they're running an 11-year-old PC at the moment. So this is indeed the stream for you.
Yeah. 11. God, what would be 11 years old? God, I can't even. What would that be Intel wise? That'd be quite a few
Xeon. That'd be a
generations
Xeon
behind.
then, wouldn't it? Would it be Xeon?
It wouldn't be Pentium. I think that's not that far behind. Yeah, that's
anyway.
quite
right. So
far behind.
headlines for this particular PC.
1440p.
1440p.
It's going to be the same thing again. So yeah, you've got the RTX 3060 in that one again, the 12 gig variant. So yeah, it's going to be a 1440p gaming PC. All that 1080p, 144, 240 hertz, depending upon what game you're playing. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of territory, really, to me.
Fantastic. Right, and just remind me of the price for that one.
So that one is £1,049.99. So saving of just under £200 on that one.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Guys, we're going through some of the AlphaSync pre-builds at the moment. So if you've seen anything that you want, there's links in the description, in the chat. And if you've seen, or you know a person who is looking for a PC at the moment, a gaming PC, or that annoying person who's always in your chat, who's always complaining that they're dying because their computer's too slow, this is a stream for them. Right, we have another PC. This one's a bit of a beast, if I remember correctly. And I think we're going to go with you in widescreen for the next.
Are we going to go? We go. Oh!
Look at that!
Oh, look at that!
I've been demoted off the screen.
Yeah, see you later, mate. It's mine now. So what we're looking at here is it's a completely different build. To be fair, it's a completely different case. That's a Be Quiet case. That one is. These are AMD builds. This is an Intel build. So very quickly, that's an i7 10700K.
Yeah.
So we're looking at an 8-core, 16-thread chip on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll run through all the specs quick. So you've got a 32 gig of RAM rather than 16. We're running a high megahertz on those. We've got the same Firecuda 510, but it's a 1 terabyte version and a 2 terabyte Barracuda in that one. You've got a 3080 in that one. We'll run over all the benefits in a sec. So you've got a 3080 in that one rather than a 3060. You've got a 1000 watt PSU. You've got an Asus Prime Z590 motherboard. You've got a Corsair IQ it's an H or is it an I? Let me get this. Yeah, H100i Capellex. I think that's the pronunciation. CPU water cooler on that one, which has obviously got a dual rad. You've got the Intel Wi-Fi on that, Windows 11, and all nicely in this Be Quiet case.
It looks good. It does look good.
I think it looks brilliant, personally. The fact that it's all synced up together is. Do you know what? I'll be honest. That's straight out of the box.
Really?
And that's synced up straight. Yeah, that's in boot at the moment, and it's synced. It's all synced up nicely. So that tells you how easy it is.
Matt Elliott has said, "Blimey, what a beast!" And also the spec is pretty high too.
Yeah. So individually, part-wise, I'll give you the price quickly. The price on that one was £2,400, and it's down £200. So that one's down to £2,199.99.
Yeah.
Big differences between these rigs, to be honest with you. Absolutely massive differences.
Yeah.
The Intel, I mean, the main benefit of going with the Intel is going to be that you're going to get those higher clock speeds. So I think our AMD was 4.4 gigahertz, whereas you're going to get 5.1 turbo speeds up on that one.
Yeah.
Why do you want higher turbo speeds? Well, that's how you get your FPS.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Same with the RAM. The turbo button that I mentioned earlier on in the stream.
Yeah, not that. I'm so glad they don't do that anymore. Obviously, you've got the 3600 megahertz RAM as well, rather than the 3200. So again, that paired with the high clock speed of the Intel, you're going to get obviously more of that increase in frames as well. The real trick to this, obviously, is the Intel, but it's mainly the fact that it's got the RTX 3080 in it. The RTX 3080 is what makes this. Well, it's what takes it away from the other machines. These are 1080p, 1440. Again, depending upon the circumstances, rigs.
Yeah.
This is a 1440p high ultra 144. Personally, it's a 4K machine, so that's for playing your 4K gaming.
Yeah, it's basically going to be half asleep when you're playing all the latest AAA titles.
It's
what's
that
this
powerful
game you're trying to play?
Yeah. So 4K gaming rig on that one. What's nice about having that Corsair dual rad CPU cooler is it allows you to then play around with some of the overclocking as well. The AMDs aren't going to overclock too much more, to be fair, because the coolers on it isn't really sufficient. But with that, we can start to play, 5.1 gigahertz already. You can probably start to push up for that 5.3, 5.5, see how far you can get it with that RAM as well.
That'd be interesting to see how far someone. I don't know how far you could push that particular tip, and again, it depends on your your overall cooling of your CPU, and yeah, I get it. Absolutely,
you're not going to get much better cooler than that. I mean, one of the nicest things about this rig actually. Can we go our landscape back again? If we go back to our full screen, can you see that?
Is that a little screen on the top of the?
That's not a screen, but that's one of the cool things about the Corsair. Do you recognise that? Can you see that?
It's a bit. It's Corsair. It's the Corsair emblem, isn't it?
No, it is not. I would pick up my camera and move it, but I have the feeling that the tech guys that are in my ears may throw a small fit if I do that.
Oh, we can zoom in. Look at that.
Oh, can you see it?
It's a bit out of focus. Why is it?
Oh, I'll give you a hint. It's above my head.
Oh, it's the AlphaSync logo.
There we go. So obviously we've got the branding on the cooler as well. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Nice little touch.
And the link for this particular product is in chat as well. So there we are. And guys, don't forget to share this out. If you know someone who is wanting a gaming PC with an RTX 3080 in it, then this is probably the PC for them. That's the end of the 3 builds. We now have got some pretty cool components to go through.
We've got a couple of bits, haven't we, buddy?
Yeah.
Should I get something out? There we go. Should we get one of them out?
Right, what are we going to go through first?
We will start with our MSI Meg Z590 ATX motherboard. How's that? I'm trying to get that.
I think
that shot for you. There you go.
Yeah, you're in. Yeah.
There you go. So, what we've got there then obviously is, I don't think it gets much more premium if you try. It's a full blown premium motherboard. Oh, that's sassy and groovy. There we go.
Revolutionary.
So that's a £299 motherboard. There's some cool cashback deals on that as well. So if you go to the product page link that the guys are dropping in the chat, on there it will take you through to how to redeem that as well. You can get that almost down to £239.99 as well, which is quite nice. You've got an Intel obviously socket on there. It's going to support your 10th and 11th gen. You've got up to the 11900K, which is an 8-core 16-thread CPU, up to 5.3 boost. So got loads of room on that. You've got support up to 5600 megahertz OC RAM as well, which is going to be a size of 100 that it can take up to 128 gig. I think we were chatting about this yesterday, weren't we?
Who needs 128 gig?
Who needs 128? Well, we were just saying, weren't we? Which was, what was 4 gig very quickly became 8, and then we all sort of quickly had 16 as a standard, which take the PCs for example, and obviously the one on the end's 32 though, and which is that kind of, if you're going to get into that content creation using Adobe Premiere, Adobe Photoshop, you very quickly, once you start piling those layers up, the effects, you're going to need the 32s, the 64s, and before you know it, we will be at 128, won't we?
What about chat? What do you reckon? How much gig is too much?
How much gig is too much?
Is it never enough? What do you reckon? Let us know.
Obviously, with that board, you've got the 3 PCI E x16 lanes. You've got the extra PCI normal standard lanes as well. You've got the SATA. You've got the 4 M.2 Gen 4 ports. So lots of storage, as well as the 6 SATA. Would you say SATA or SATA? I've always said
this is one of those things. I would say it's SATA, but I don't know if it's like the potato patata sort of thing. I've heard SATA being said, and
so we've also got the Thunderbolt. I've just read my own notes. Thunderbolt. That's not right, is it? Should sack him. No, that's my notes. The Thunderbolt. There we go. Ports on those, which obviously allows support up to 8K as well. You've obviously got the latest Wi-Fi 6E standard. And my favourite thing about this board, which I can't show you at the moment, is it on the picture on the back? Is it pictured? It's not pictures on the back, sadly. Which is, if you go to the product link, it'll have the picture of the board. It has 2 8-pin sockets, power
Yes.
sockets, next to the CPU, obviously between the VRMs. And the VRM cooling on this is very, very good as well. It's got crazy large heat sinks and cooling pipes on it and pads. What's really cool about having two 8-pins, count them in mid, two 8-pins, is the overclocking stability. So this motherboard is, especially with the aluminium backplate as well, for the heat dissipation as well, it's going to be really good for if you're an enthusiast for overclocking, and Intel known for overclocking as well. It's a fantastic pair.
Yeah, I mean you've got all the you've got all the power you need probably with two 8-pins. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, as long as you've got a decent PSU, you're good to go.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of cool things that I'm probably going to get onto them. I apologize if I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I think from when we spoke about this product before, the motherboard is reinforced.
So that's the aluminium backplate. Yes. Yeah. Obviously reinforced I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, the backplate is obviously reinforced for the dissipation, but the PCI slots are reinforced. That's what you meant, wasn't it? So the PCI slots on this one,
yes,
all three of those times 16 lanes have got a obviously metal shroud around them. Now, we were talking about how large graphics cards, weren't we, are getting these days, and you can probably see there. I don't know if you can see that in my other view, but you're talking that thickness now, very, very large sizes, half the size of my face for an RTX 3090, which is a big, some of them triple cards as well, slot cards. God, look at that.
Well, and some of these are well over 1.5 kilograms in weight as well. So that's
very
a
heavy
lot of weight just on a little slot.
So they're going to sag. So what's really cool about obviously this graphics card is you've got that reinforcement there. So if you've got a massive 3090 obviously hanging off the side of this, it's not going to do any good if it wasn't reinforced. So that reinforcement allows us to not worry too much about any drop or anything like that, and we know they're going to stay safe, and there's going to be no breakages, which is nice.
Fantastic. Can you just let the guys in chat just know quickly how much that was again?
So that's 299.99. But obviously there are some cashback deals on that as well. If you go to the page, they're all on there.
Lovely. Fantastic. Well, the link for that particular product is in chat. So if you know anybody who wants this motherboard, then share out this stream to them and let them know. Are you playing with RGBs again?
I am. I'm quite enjoying it, to be fair.
You got to let chat know. How do you describe RGBs?
RGB. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm more of the Intel, which is just to the side, which is I like it a little bit on the inside. That's fine, but I like the stealth look. I'm more of it because the front of this PC is completely black. Is that Be Quiet case? That Pure Base. I think it was 500. The product for that Pure Base 500. There's the name for that one, I think. It's a really nice case, and it's just got that stealth look to it as well. Which, be Pure Base 500 case. There we go. Which is really nice.
Fantastic.
Do you want to talk about another product?
We should. I think it's time for another product. What on earth are you going to reveal this time?
So, do you know what? When I came in, no, that was a look of worry, wasn't it? This is wrong. When I came in this morning and I looked at this on the table, I almost smiled, because to hold something like that in your hands is absolutely crazy. Because we all buy online now, you don't really see it on the shelf, So to actually see it, almost like in a shopping centre somewhere, get to see and hold the product. It was actually quite nice. So that is the AMD. I'm just trying to get that in there. The AMD Radeon RX 6900 XT, but that's obviously the MSI Gaming Trio version. What's nice about that? Well, that's got 3 fans on it, isn't it? It's not a single fan. It's not a single fan. It's not a dual fan. That is a trio. It's 3 fans, which to those that obviously don't know, the reason that we want to go with 3 fans is it's going to keep everything cool. We were talking, weren't we, before about 0 RPM modes on things. And what's great about these triple fans, obviously they've got triple the size, obviously to a normal duo. So it's got more heat pipes on it, more dissipation. It's going to stay in 0 RPM mode for longer because it can dissipate better. Those triple fans when they do kick up, they haven't got to kick up so hard to keep it cooler because obviously there's 3 of them. So it's going to be quieter as well. So because of the increased cooling capacity of it, it means that we can stay at higher boost clocks for longer when we're playing games as well. So keep that FPS high.
It's also handy for anybody out there who's a budding YouTuber or streamer, not having that constant wear going on in the background.
I mean, loads of streamers have to play around with noise gates, don't they? Compression gates, clippers, limiters, and you don't have to do that with these sorts of cards, which is nice. Put it in a decent, silent case, and I would be very surprised if you heard it ramp up. Unless you're going to be playing at 4K and everything like that, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's good.
Right then, stats. I want stats. Give me some stats.
So this is the top tier. This is the best one that they do, which is it's their flagship. So you've obviously got a lot of RAM with this one. So you've got the 16 gigabyte of RAM. So just to put that into context, the 3060 was 12, the 3080 was 10. Let me just check that. I'm pretty sure that was 10 off the top of my head. Yeah, that was 10. And then we've got 16 here. So the AMD's top tier one does come in at 16 gigabyte of RAM, which basically means that that's a 4K card.
Yeah.
It's going to give you that extra, obviously, VRAM, which when I say 16 gig, that's VRAM. So when we're playing in 1440p, obviously the textures and stuff are going to take a percent amount of VRAM. When you're playing at 4K, it takes up a lot more, which is why that we don't have one in any of these builds, but an RTX 3090, for example, that's got 24 gig of VRAM in it, which is, quite a lot, to be honest.
It is a little bit, yeah.
It is quite a lot. Obviously, DisplayPort 1.4 on those and the HDMIs, the triple fan, you've got the 16 gig, you've got a nice brushed aluminium backplate on that. So pairing that again with let's go back. As a result of that sturdiness from that backplate and the dissipation, you're going to get some good cooling. And obviously, when you put it inside of that MSI motherboard that we had before, which is then reinforced, you're really going to not have to worry about any parts sagging or bending the PCBs. I remember I had a quick little look inside of this, and there is a support bracket.
Yeah.
So to me, it's the holy trinity, isn't it? You've got a support bracket, it's reinforced, and it's reinforced on the motherboard as well. So you're not going to get any PCB bending. It's going to be a good little trio. Those no pun intended. Those 3 components as well.
I can't believe it's got 16 gig of RAM. I was just thinking back to the first ever GPU I ever bought as an external piece of kit, and that had 256 megabytes.
256 megabytes.
I know. I don't look that old. I know. But 256 megabytes.
I mean, you think about it, right? You go from 256 to 512. That's a double increase. It's like us going from 12 gig of VRAM to 24. And it's almost we're getting to that territory again when it's getting a bit crazy again.
Yeah. It's all crazy.
One of the things to mention with this is if you are going to buy a card like this, you do have to have the power supply that is going to power such a beast of a card. It's recommended you have at least an 850. So I would advise, if anyone's going to run that card, you have to have an 850 gold at least, because anything less than that, if you're going to pair that with a very good CPU, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So that's going to have a high power draw as well, which means that if you've got a high good PC, you've probably got a good water cooler, you've probably got good everything components. It's all going to draw more power. So at least an 850 for that, but it is a 350 watt rated card.
Lovely.
One of the main things that I like most about this card is something really special that AMD have done with their Ryzen chips. So with this card, if you've got a 5000 series chip and I just want to check this. Yeah, so it has to be a 5000 series chip and a 500 series motherboard. Select 3000 CPUs work, but not all of them. Yeah, you have to check the compatibility. There's something that AMD have done called Smart Access Memory. So what that means is it opens up the bus and the bandwidth basically on your CPU talking to your GPU. So no, something you can optimize, turn on inside of BIOS.
Yeah,
it's made. So the AMD part, the AMD GPU part, they talk together better, which then results in what we would call, depending upon the game, depending upon resolution, up to a 15% increase in performance.
Okay, that's a lot. If you're talking 100 frames, that's 115 frames.
Well, yeah, exactly. 100
Yeah.
and then an extra 15 frames, or
Yeah.
like we spoke about before, you could have a 144 hertz monitor, but you're only getting 120 frames, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm never going to get the full potential. Turn that on inside of the BIOS, enable that rebar. That then allows you to again get those extra frames, and you're playing at the hertz rate that's relative to your monitor.
Yeah, that's right. Matt Elliott has applauded me for my quick maths there, because we've had a question, and this is a little bit off topic, I suppose, but it's we know what we're talking about, so I'll go for the question. John Paul Dooley has asked, what upgrades could I do other than graphics to my Omen HP Obelisk, which I believe is a tower. Now, from my experience, I think that's a pre-build. So for me, I would say cooling is probably going to be a big.
Yeah, but
problem.
It might be bespoke. I don't know off the top of my head because I haven't had an Omen in my hands. I'll be honest. I tell you what, I'll tell you the price of that first before I answer that question. That is, before I forget, £1,199.99.
Yeah.
So top tier graphics card money, but also sensible though, especially with what the climate is at the moment. So yeah, looking at just under £1,200 for a card, 4K gaming card, top tier AMD.
Yeah.
Back to a question. You'd have to check.
Yeah.
So if it's if they've got their own design of motherboard inside of it, you need to check all the sockets and make sure that everything's going to fit. You need to make sure there's the space as well, because sometimes they do custom, obviously, build bespoke casing for these as well as the motherboards. So you need to check. If I was going to upgrade a pre-build like that, I would do two things. I would check the CPU compatibility, and I would check obviously the GPU compatibility.
Yes.
By that I mean how much power you've got on your PSU if you can actually run one.
Yeah,
that's an easy one.
Yeah, it's unlike these AlphaSync builds, pre-builds. These have got fantastic cooling on them. My experience, a lot of other pre-builds sometimes just have like one fan on it, just an exhaust fan, and not a lot else. So that could be something to look into. But without seeing your own individual tower, it's hard to actually say.
So going back to what I said, some of these other pre-builders, if they do have bespoke parts in them, it makes it a lot harder to upgrade. Whereas all of these are off-the-shelf parts.
Yeah.
So what that means is you go, right, I want to upgrade this, £1,200 one. I want to put in the nicest MSI motherboard. Boom, done. It's got the mounts for it. You can do that. Okay, I don't want the 3080 anymore. I want to put in a full-blown RX 1600 XT. Boom, chuck it in. It fits. Yeah, and the PSU is 1,000 watts, so you know that's going to work anyway. So that's the one advantage of buying pre-builds, obviously, that use those off-the-shelf parts.
Yeah, lovely. Right, so we have covered 3 PCs, 960, just £1,049, £50, help me, £1,049, and then the Intel 10th Gen i7, which has got just over £2,000, and then we've had an MSI motherboard, and also then the 6900 XT.
Yep.
So we've had a lot of stuff, really cool stuff to talk about. Right. I just want to thank you for spending your time with us today. David, I wanted to thank you for taking that ridiculously long trip over up this morning.
It was all for you, buddy.
Getting up at 4 a.m., driving in, setting up all these PCs, and with all that. How many PCs did you say you got in there at the moment?
I've got 3 next to me, but there's 5 behind me.
Yeah, it's gone dark again. So I better.
It's gone dark again. I know. It's all right. We're signing off. It's fine.
So today we'll be looking at some gaming deals featuring AlphaSync and Ebuyer Gaming. Be sure to get involved in comments. If you're watching this back on demand and you want to ask a question, please do that. We will be reviewing these videos after. I want to thank everyone for watching, and stay tuned in for next week, where we'll be diving into some Razer products, and I'll be joined by another very special guest. So you can say goodbye to everyone, David.
You're going to miss me, aren't you? I know it.
I am. Right. So thank you, guys. I've been Damian. He's been David. See you next week.
See ya.